Well, Sean, one of the events that we enjoy every year is when our station, Channel 13, holds the If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Each year, we raise funds to buy children books through Spread the Word Nevada, and they putting books in the hands of kids who wouldn't normally get them. Well, this year, that campaign was stepped up in a major way by our next guest from Finley Toyota.
Absolutely. You've seen him just a couple times on television before. The general manager of Finley Toyota, John Barr. How are you there, sir?
Doing fantastic, guys. Really, really good. I mean, obviously, everything going on's going to make things a little tougher than normal, but right now we have no complaints. So,
Well, I'll say, we'll talk about the Give a Child a Book campaign in just a second, but my goodness, what a year for car dealerships. I think at the very beginning of this, the dealerships were closed. Okay, Finley Joy Drive, thank goodness you had that, but it's like, how are we going to sell these cars? What's going to happen? And it's actually been a gangbusters year. You had a great December, didn't you?
well, you actually did. We set a record, all-time record, 741 cars, and very blessed to have Toyota naturally, and really, really happy that we had that good a month. It's been a crazy year because there's been a demand that's exceeded expectations, and obviously with the factories, a shortage of cars. So
Yeah.
quite something to do
Jeez.
those sort of numbers.
Yeah, no kidding.
Isn't that just crazy? A shortage of cars. Let's talk about some of those cars. I had a Toyota about 20 years ago. It was one of the best cars I ever had. But let's talk about the new Sienna. I know the Venza is returning as well. And maybe you can touch on the Nightshade too.
Yeah, the thing about it is obviously we've got the new Sienna and we've got the new Venza, but what's really unique about the situation is they only come in hybrids. So the gas efficiency is absolutely incredible. They both get 35, 40 miles to the gallon,
Wow.
and quite frankly, you can drive 550 miles on a tank of gas. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, wow. That man, it is really, the technology's come a long way. I know, obviously with the Prius, kind of Toyota kind of led that whole hybrid drive, but now it's getting into the cars that don't, with all due respect to the Prius, look like Priuses. They just look like every other car now. And it's really, why get in a car that's going to cost you so much more in gas? Why make a car that's going to cost you so much more in gas? That's
Totally.
what Toyota's saying.
Totally agreed. And actually, the pricing is very competitive. It's not like a great difference in price. I think it's just a perception of what works better for you, supposedly. But
Yeah.
the hybrids are taking off. We're selling hundreds a month now. So it's very,
Fantastic.
very good.
Tell us about the Venza. That's a
Wow.
relatively new brand. What's going on with the Venza?
Well, the Venza, they discontinued in 15 and they went away and they've come back in 21. It's kind of a crossover, I suppose, utility vehicle as such. I mean, initially the old Venza was like a station wagon almost, but the new ones are kind of a cross between the RAV and the Highlander. They kind of fit that niche right in between, but only come as hybrids. So,
Gotcha.
Cool. And tell us about these Nightshade trims.
well, the trims, obviously, they're trying to change things up and make them a little bit more exciting. And so that's
Sure.
worked out pretty good for us. And, trying to kind of get a little bit on the edge, if you could use that. So it's been good. It's
It's
been good.
We
nice.
like that. Sean and I like things a little
I
edgy.
like living on the edge. It's kind of
Well, that's been my life, but that's okay.
You know what? The one thing I appreciate with Finley Toyota, even if this year was a little bit shaky, you guys would be there for the community. But man, you've had a great year, and you're making sure to give back in a huge way. If you give a child a book campaign with Channel 13, you guys helped us out immensely. Tell us why you got involved.
Well, I think that the family, having been in businesses in this city over 60 years now, realize the necessity of the community. And I think there's just no question that we want to be there for everyone. And, one thing that's happened these days is obviously with technology, talking of the books, it's got to the point now where people don't have access to computers. Now, I'm old, so I can remember anything I wanted to learn was based on reading. And I think reading is something that's gone a little bit by the wayside. And I think you have to use your imagination a little bit. You've got to kind of picture things for yourself. And I think it's much more of a growing tool to be able to read. And we realize the necessity of that.
Awesome.
Well said, John. Not only that, but it's an event that two people can share, right? A child and a parent,
Yeah.
two kids, or my older brother actually read to me primarily when I was a kid. But we
Yeah.
want to thank you because honestly, with Finley stepping up and supporting this program, we've had some great fundraising in the past. But we raised over $20,000, and thanks to you, there were 4,200 books that wouldn't have been
Wow.
distributed right into the hands of kids right here in the Valley. So thank you so much for that.
Well, no problem. We intend to do more. So not an issue.
All right, man, John, it's great seeing you on TV. That was when I first moved here in '06. I watched TV and I saw this guy who really was desperate to sell me a
Oh,
car. And
yeah.
since then, it's a rite of passage,
Yeah,
man. John, you're
I
one
hear
of the
he'll do
Well,
anything.
one of the friendly faces I love seeing on TV all the
I've been
time. It's
known
great
to.
to talk to you.
Well, you
Bye,
too.
John.
Always a pleasure. And hey, we're here for you if you need anything.
Good man. FinleyToyota.com. If you want to learn more, they're there in the Auto Mall. They're in Henderson. Go check them out. And if you want to learn more, the number and website right there on your screen. Finley Toyota, proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.